impact of technology and the increasing demand for education present potential opportunities for investors. Paul Hodes, Head of Consumer Bank Wealth Management at Citibank, speaks to Thomas Singlehurst, Head of European Media Research in the UK, about Citi's recent report, Education Back to Basics. Is education fit for the future?
In some emerging markets, you've got low current levels of enrolment coupled with very high levels of population growth. And there is going to be a massive supply-demand imbalance between the number of people wanting a tertiary education and the number of institutions in place to be able to provide one. And so we're very excited about for-profit private universities, and within our coverage you find a number of companies in that space. This is very much a global phenomenon, and there are a number of opportunities to invest in that theme. But it's not just about higher education. Student migration from Asia to the US and UK is already relatively well established, and we see that continuing, if not accelerating. But there are a number of companies that potentially play into that theme. There are educational technology companies that help universities provide what are called sort of pathways programs, where they help students coming into the US and UK with their English and making sure they're catching up with other areas of study.
How would a retail investor look into that industry or that trend?
At a very basic level, we see governments struggling to find resources, and therefore looking at alternative ways of funding access to education. And we think a number of new instruments, including things like education bonds, could play a significant part. For investors with a relatively low risk profile looking for income, that could be a very compelling way of getting exposure to the education space. Obviously, for traditional equity investors, there are going to be a range of potential options, from those with relatively low volatility but predictable growth profiles, like private schools. But at the other end of the spectrum, some of these educational technology companies potentially have a very significant opportunity longer term, but obviously at an earlier stage of development. And so that's one of the most interesting things about this from an investor's perspective, is that private capital is only just starting to come into the space. There are a number of ways of being able to invest across a range of different risk and reward profiles, and that's what makes it so exciting.
We hope you find these insights interesting. For more information, please speak with a Citigold Relationship Manager.